It's 5:30 in the morning. It is cloudy, which is a good time to be out here working in the garden to get an early start because it's going to be wicked humid. It's the summer. It's the heart of the summer. It's garden season, so I'm up early and I'm about to get some work done in the garden because there's a lot to be done and you have to maintain your garden if you want it to produce. You have to secure it from the critters. So I'm out here doing some more maintenance on my plants that I have left that the critters left me. So I just removed this basket that I had turned down over this. It's a type of melon that I'm growing here because it's outgrown the height of this mesh basket, and that basket was just to protect it from the critters because it kept going through and biting up. Look at this. This was a pumpkin and it's now no good because it kept, every time it grew out the young leaves, it would destroy it. So this is a goner here. But what I did was I put a tomato cage over it now that I removed the mesh basket here, and I'm gonna wrap some chicken wire around the bottom just to secure it, because if I don't, it will still get in there and be able to chew on this as it was. See, this is all chewed off. This was all chewed off, and I realized that was going on, so I put one of those mesh basket, but now it's outgrown that height. So we're going to do a little bit of maintenance here this morning. All right, so this is pretty much now how it looks, and hopefully this will just deter the rabbits from getting in there and eating up that plant. Now this was just some chicken wire I had laying around, but you can use whatever you choose, but this is just a little example of something that you can do to protect your plants. Now I've just removed these baskets from over my okras. It has outgrown them so much, and I just worked the soil up a little bit. I'm hoping that the rabbits does not come through and start chewing on these okras again. This one is stunted because they have chewed off the top of it, and now it's starting to grow back nicely. But it was planted the same time that these were planted, and these ones I didn't start them indoors. I just dropped the seed in ground right here, and they're doing pretty fine, except for this one that a rabbit chewed off. Let's get rid of this leaf here. But I'm uncovering them now because the leaves are a bit older and hopefully more fibrous, so they won't chew on them, but we'll see. This is what I've had to do throughout my garden in spots that I cannot see. This is already outgrowing the basket, but in spots that I could not barricade my garden in, I was able to, purchase some baskets and actually cover them throughout my garden because these rabbits, ooh, I missed that one, and they chewed it off. But thankfully I do have some good stuff still going on here. I do have some insect damage. I'm going to remove these leaves. I looked under the leaves earlier, but I didn't see anything here, and I cannot seem to find any bugs, but something's going on here that's chewing on the leaves, some type of insect, and I'm thankful that I was able to barricade this. Even with all this extra reinforcement, they would still try to get in. So that's what we've been doing. I still have some beautiful pumpkin vines growing up, so I'm just trying to train them to go up that trellis. And this is why I think vertical gardening is wonderful. It saves you space. Look at this here, beautiful. I'm not sure what varieties anymore because I've lost the tags yet again. But these vines are doing pretty good, and they're planted in these raised planters right here. They did get chewed off a bit earlier in the season, and so we had to go through and cover all this up. see all the reinforcements. We had to use the wire. They were still digging, so then we had to get rocks. And hopefully, we're going to put some more stakes here to make this more sturdy. But they recently went in here, and so we went in last night and we put the rocks at the point of entry, if I should say. But these mesh baskets come in really handy. Because your plants can get light through them. I don't know if this one's gonna survive, but I'm still gonna protect it. They've been chewing this thing off from the time it sprouted from the ground. See that? This one's kind of too tall for the basket already, but I'm gonna leave it in there for a little bit. Now with my short crops, I do succession planting. And in this bed right here, I planted another set of bush beans also, and they have gone through and taken off the tops of all of them. Once they started growing, I planted over 30 bush beans in between these onions that I have growing in this bed, and they're all gone. All gone. So the rabbits and whatever else is eating my food, I think they're kind of gaining more than I am so far. But I think we're getting the hang of this. We have to reinforce this area right here because I'm pretty sure this is an easy spot for them to get in. I'm gonna get some rocks and add it here to this area. I gotta harvest my bachelor's button. See how they got in here and chewed up all those sweet potato leaves again. It's like I'm trying to get this garden going. Ooh, all the pumpkin vines are growing out, so I gotta train them to the area where I want them to grow. I gotta do harvesting. I know there's a bunch of cucumbers in there that I need to go, oh Lord, that I need to go in and harvest, guys. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful sized cucumbers that I need to go in there and harvest. I'm gonna have to harvest those today. Yeah, so the vines could stay healthy and these flowers here can get a chance to develop into cucumbers. So we can have, that's the whole point of planting them in the first place. Oh, yeah, I got a lot of cucumbers to harvest. I got a lot of maintenance to do. I have some beets also to harvest, and it can be overwhelming, especially if you have to find yourself using up your time doing maintenance like installing the wires and just securing your food from the critters. It's just extra work that you would need more time and energy for, especially when it's so hot out. So I got my work cut out here for me this morning. Oh, look at these beautiful cucumbers ready to harvest. See, I gotta so this is just a quick walkthrough as to what's going on in my garden. I mean, this alone would just discourage any new gardener. I'm just saying this to say don't give up. As you go along in your gardening journey, you'd realize that you have to make adjustments for whatever situation you have going on. And this is what we've done. We've done it every year because it seems like every year it's something different. And so you just shouldn't be discouraged. I'm showing this video so you can see that you need to get prepared for things like this. Oh, beet in there staring at me. Where is it? There they are, staring at me. But this is what's going on in my garden for now. I am really scared about these okras because I would hate for rabbits to come by again and destroy these plants. I mean, to be honest, I also have okras growing in containers, and so they are well secured in here. I have more growing in containers in my back garden, so I'm pretty sure I would get sufficient okra with just those that I have growing in a container. So this is so that you can see, and I think the takeaway from this is that even if you have garden space like you can grow in ground, I think you should also consider growing the same thing in containers, especially for the critter attacks, because they're going to come, they're going to find your food, and that's especially if you don't have like a fencing like I do now, and food is not secured, because they're going to come. I need to put, I need to reroute these beans. These are runner beans. I believe they are the yard long beans, and I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here, and I have some more on this side somewhere growing. Let's see. Yep, right in there. So even though bush beans that I had growing in this bed here was destroyed, I still have the option of different varieties of beans. I planted snake beans, I planted the red noodle beans and the green noodle beans, and I also do have some beans growing in containers and in raised beds. So sometimes I think I plant too much and I plant a whole lot, and this is just a prime example why I would not stop doing that, because the critters are going to come for their share too. So I'm going to make sure I plant enough for my family, for my chickens, and for the critters that are going to come. So this is all for now. This is what's going in the garden. I better put this camera down and get going and get some of this maintenance work done before the sun comes up and I have to run from the garden. With the sacrifice that I've made this morning of getting up out of my bed early, I was able to maintain my beds here in my garden. I have a lot more work to do, because these are just the garden beds. Reinforce some of the barricade around the plants. And I feel better now that I was able to come out here early and do that. I got to harvest some of my bachelor's button flowers, which was long overdue. And to also reroute some of my growing vines, like my runner beans and my pumpkin vines. I harvested a couple beets, just enough for today's meal. I also finally harvested some cucumbers. Always so sweet. You know, and just to think about the feeling you get when you put in all this work, that you can actually come out in your garden and reap the rewards of the labor and the work you've put in. It's just a really, really good feeling. And I went berry picking right here in my garden. So gardening is not just always work. There are so much benefits and rewards to gardening. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next upload.